This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.
Power on. Power on.
It's time to take your place on the starting grid and get ready for Racer Radio. Your host, Dave Stahl, about to take you for a white-knuckled lap around the motorsports industry, covering everything from top-notch national drivers and crew chiefs right down to your local kid racers and racetracks. Watch for the apex, because here comes Racer Radio with Dave Stahl.
All right, folks, welcome. This is Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.
And that was Britney Sandoval, the racing school teacher. And guess what, folks? She starts class
Tomorrow morning.
Without the race car. It should be exciting.
That'd be interesting.
Yes, it will. You're going to be having what we call technology overload.
Yeah.
All right, Sunshine, who you got for a guest today?
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to show you the picture that he just sent. He is calling from his beautiful cabin in Grass Valley. That just sounds beautiful.
I love Grass Valley, too.
Yeah, he recently did the run from Vegas to Reno.
Yeah.
And I was telling you as we were going into commercial, the guy loves to race. He's like, I'll race two wheels, I'll race four, just put me in, coach.
Right.
And I'm not so sure that things went as quite as planned, but I am sure the guy had the right attitude from start to finish. So please welcome Tim Fitzpatrick, or as some know him, Whiskey's Human.
Oh, hey, Tim. How's it going, buddy?
It's going really good. How are you guys today?
That's a pretty good intro, wouldn't you say?
That was, yes, thank you, Brittany. That was awesome. And you speak of whiskey, I'm looking at him right now. He's by the front door, and it's a little warm today, so he's taking a nap, but he's always by my side.
So for all these folks that think whiskey is a bottle of Jack, it's not. It's a chubby little dog. What breed is that?
He's a bulldog. He's an English bulldog.
He's so cute.
Oh, he is. He's the best. Take him to all the races. He loves to go to the races. He loves people. He loves racing. And he pouts when we come home.
He was pouting when you got home from Wyoming, I believe.
Yes, he was. The motorhome was still out front, and I hadn't had it unloaded yet. And he actually literally just sat out there all day. And he finally, because he gets so hot, he finally moved underneath it, into the shade.
Sure.
But he was like, and we'd spent 16 hours in it the day before coming home.
That's crazy. So what did you race? What vehicle this time?
So we actually raced, in that Wyoming, it was the Dwarf car national.
I hadn't told him yet. I didn't tell him you were a Dwarf car driver yet.
I knew he's a Dwarf car driver.
At the end, I was sneaking that in. Oh,
so man. So what'd you race from Vegas to Reno?
So I've actually two vehicles. We were a part of a motorcycle team. I had a neighbor kid that was doing some work for me, and I've raced motorcycles since almost my whole life. Mm-hmm. And he was sitting there bugging me. He's like, you should let me race your bike. You should let me race your bike. And I'm like, Waylon, you don't understand. It's really dangerous. It's not a matter if you're going to get hurt. It's when and how bad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've had a lot of broken bones from racing them over the years. So anyway, long story short, we started the race, and about mile 100, he hit a rock coming into pit 4, I believe it was, and he broke his collarbone and fractured one of his vertebrae.
Oh, gosh. I think I saw a picture from a hospital bed, but...
But how old is he?
He's 17. So.
He'll bounce back. He'll bounce back.
Listen to us old people. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine. A couple of Advil and a beer, and he'll be good to go, let me tell you.
Right. He's not old enough to drink yet today. Come on, we can't let him in on that.
But he can think about it.
Yes, absolutely. So the plan was because the bikes start 3 hours before the cars and trucks. So the plan was I was going to pit these guys on up till we got to around Mina, Yarrington in Nevada there. And then I was going to stop and wait for the UTV that's owned by Mark Leverett out of Reno with M1 Metalworks, and he had called me to race with him, and I just have a lot of knowledge, and I used to race a lot of off-road cars back when I was younger, before it got so crazy money to do it, and so after that, I just hung out at Mina and waited for the car, and you never know in off-road racing if a car is even going to make it to you. And so we hung out there and at Pit 9 in Mina and took a nap for a while because I was actually up at 3 o'clock in the morning because the bikes start at like 5:45 in the morning, and the cars and trucks don't start till later. And then we raced a UTV in the UTV Pro class, but it's naturally aspirated. It's not the unlimited class or the turbo class.
Oh. All right.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So they were, the car got to me after dark, just after dark. The two drivers that ran it, one was James. He owns Reno Kawasaki out of Reno, Nevada. He started the race, did a great job, got the car to Mark in one piece, and then Mark did a great job and got it to me in one piece.
And?
It was a good day. And then I actually got it to the finish line.
In one piece.
In one piece, yes. It was making a little noise. Clutch was making some noise. By the time we got there, and we were a little worried, we were going up over the pass out of Yerington to the finish, and it was starting to really make noise and really started to baby the car. My co-driver, Alex Anderson, at the time, we knew we were catching some people, and I was pushing pretty hard because I lived in Yerington for about the last 25 years, so I know that area really well.
That's awesome.
So even though it was after dark, it's like, I'm going by Braille. I know everything out there. And I was pushing hard to try to catch some people. At one point, Alex is like, I know you know this area, but, we're so close to the finish. Can we finish the race?
That's the sound of a passenger if I've ever heard one.
No, I totally agreed with him. I'm like, you're right. And it had rained up over, it's called Como Pass. It's between Yerington and Dayton where the race actually finishes. And it's a rock pile up there. It's just rocks everywhere. And I was and it was raining, so it's muddy and it's rocks. And we're probably pushing a little too hard. And then the car started making noise. And so I needed that voice of reason to back off a little bit and bring the car to the finish. But we did pretty good. There was 31 entries, I believe, in the class, and we didn't pre-enter. We entered the day before the race. So I think out of the 31, we started in 30th position, and we ended up finishing 8th in class.
Wow. That's awesome. Well, since you turned out to be a Dwarf driver, I don't know what your afternoon looks like, but do you think you could call back at like 3:45 and we'll give you the last segment of Racer Radio, and then that way you can make Britney happy and talk about dwarf cars?
Yeah, I could do that.
All right. If you're not in the middle of anything, tell Whiskey to remind you to call back at 3:45. I know he will.
I will tell him for sure.
Yeah. Does Brittany need to send you a text? Because I got a feeling she'll definitely be all over you.
Oh no, I can remember that. I'm a mature adult at this point. I don't know.
Some may beg to differ, but okay.
Ooh, the abuse you have to take, my friend.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm 55 years old, and I told somebody the other day I did not start to mature until I hit 50.
Well, here's the way you have to look at it, my friend. How old do you think you would be if you didn't know how old you were today?
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
18, 19, 20. You just got to convince your body. That's the kicker.
That's it.
That's it.
After all these years of motorcycle racing.
Yeah, I can tell you motorcycle stories at the tender age of 75, let me tell you. Hey, we're going to talk to you again at 3:45. Yes, Brittany?
I want to wish a speedy recovery.
Well, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm sure he'll still want to ride, right?
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, he was in the truck, had tears in his eyes, and he told me that he could not wait till next year.
That's my kind of boy. All right, take a break. We'll be right back. This is Racer Radio on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I don't know if that buddy of yours called in, but maybe he did. Oh, he's on the line.
He's
and
a
his
grown-up.
name is
Tim Fitzpatrick.
We'll be right here listening to him on FM 96.1 AM 1170.
The answer.
All right. Well, we decided to bring
Whiskey's person back.
Yep. Tim Fitzpatrick. He races here, there, and everywhere. We found out he does dwarf racing. In fact, he was somewhat instrumental in getting Britney to go to the Nationals.
Yeah, I did
and
tell
Britney
him.
said, Nationals? I don't need to rent a car.
Oh, gosh.
And he goes, no, not the rental car company.
Yeah, I told him off air that you did maybe plant that seed
And
back
she
at the
got all
Harvest Hustle.
goosebumpy. You know, you should have seen it. So, how long you been racing dwarf cars?
I've been racing, I think I bought my car in 2015 thanks to Glenn Shirani.
Another good one.
Yeah, I went down and I broke my wrist really bad in the Baja 500 that year racing a bike, and I went when it was still healing. Glenn actually came in. I was selling cars at the time at Wild West, and he's like, "You need to get off those bikes," because he used to race bikes. And I'm like, I'm not ready to get off the bikes yet, Glenn. He goes, well, just, and I said, I did roundy round stuff when I was in my 20s.
Roundy round?
Yeah. I did those pure stock, they call them a beep stock sometimes.
Sure.
And I was like, wasn't any fun. You just mat the car, and it's like, he goes, no, you have to come drive one of these. Anyways, long story short, I got to go to race his car, and I was like, wow, these things are kind of fun. And so you let it out of the bag because, Brittany, I was going to tell him about that. I was going to tell you, Dave, about that.
About what?
Him hooking you up to the Nationals.
Yes. It was down there at the Harvest Hustle. It was my first and only Harvest Hustle, and I had never met Brittany, knew nothing about her. And then it's like, who is this woman out there banging bars with me?
You were banging bars with him?
That's how we met in tech afterwards. Like, who are you? Who are you? That was fun.
Well, the best part was when you said to her, so who's driving this car? And you said, me.
Yeah,
you.
Like, shouldn't you be doing dishes somewhere?
Oh, my God. Thank you. Now that I've got her on the ceiling, thank you very much.
Oh, well, but then he got to know me.
Yes. And he decided not to have you do dishes.
No.
She is a true racer, and she's tough competition. And it's like, when you get out there and you're going in a corner and you're starting to bang Nerf bars, and this person isn't giving you any leeway, I was like, you need to come do the National.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Yep, you planted that seed, and then talked to my crew who said we knew you were going to say that, and then I talked to Team Brown, and that was a combination of just making it a reality, and so many good memories.
They can't wait to go back.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
When are you coming back?
I'm hoping 2021 season. I'm going through a full remodel, which is kicking my tail right now.
And she found mold, so she's not having a good day. So that's why she decided to come in today, just so she could forget about mold for an hour.
But I've been watching you guys and living vicariously through all of you.
Yeah. And see, you're still in a motorcycle, right? You got the engine, so you're halfway there.
No, Tim?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's got a new dwarf car. Don't you have a new one this year?
I do. Todd Dameron with Dameron Chassis finally built me a new car, and still, working out a few things, trying to get used to it, but it's a great car. Love it.
And it has a motorcycle engine in it, right?
Yes.
See, there you go. I told you. The acorn didn't fall too far.
Yeah. Tim's got a great attitude. I remember distinctly at Colorado, I think it was a regional last year at Colorado on 4th of July, and he just started talking to me about his approach. He's just a little more laid back, not taking everything so serious. He was able to refocus me because I had a really rough start that weekend, and after talking to him, my whole weekend changed.
Right.
And it was
it's all
for
about
the better.
It's all about attitude. It's all high. And I got to tell you a story on her too. So I'm at the track at Verona.
What did I do wrong?
And she's in the car and she's getting ready to go out. So I thought, well, I'll go up and I'll say hi. Oh my goodness! You thought I was talking to a nun. She didn't want to talk to me. It's like, go away. I'm getting ready to go out. And I walked away and I sniffled a little bit. And
The real story, listeners and Tim, is that the track was screaming in my ear, probably because there was a crash from the race before, and I was just telling him, I can't hear you. That's the real story.
That's not what she said. You know what I'm talking about, Tim.
Yeah. Absolutely. She could have unplugged the racer.
I know. That's what I was thinking. But, oh, no, we're not going to do that.
I will remember that, number 14. I will remember that.
Hey, I do this to every single driver that ever comes on. Who are your sponsors? Because you're going to send this interview to your sponsors, and you're going to thank them profusely. You can do motorcycles first if you want. And you can do the Dwarf cars second. So who have you got that's helped you get to where you're at today?
Well, I have to go. Well, let me tell you real quick. In your intro, you have, you mentioned White Knuckle. And so I had a motorcycle store that was called White Knuckle Motorsports. So myself with my White Knuckle, and it was from 04 to 11. But since then, I worked for Wild West Chevrolet out of Yerington, Nevada, and they helped me out for quite a few years. My mom and dad, of course. I'm 55. I'm a big kid, but
sure.
That's okay.
I wouldn't be racing without them from my teenage years on.
Right.
Safe Lube they don't support me now, but Safe Lube out of Reno, Nevada. If it wasn't for my dad and my mom allowing me to taking me all over the country to race motorcycles at a young age, I wouldn't be doing this.
Wow.
And then, of course, Todd Dameron.
There we go.
With Dameron Chassis. He helps me out so much. He comes to the races and helps me. But I have to tell you a story. My very first national win came in Medford, Oregon, and he was there with his car. He had Matt Sargent in it, and his son, Chance, was there. And I had Chance's old car at the time. And Chance is the one that actually came over, helped me set up that car, and took me out and helped me get my very first national win.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, thank you, Chance Dameron, for that.
Very nice.
And then at Honey Girl Farms, they helped me out to help me get me where I'm at, and Glenn Sharani. And that's pretty much everybody. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much to everybody that's got me here.
All right. So Brittany showed me a picture of the most unbelievable, beautiful cabin up in Grass Valley. But where is the shop? Why isn't there a 60 by 100-foot shop up there somewhere?
So when I went to the county to get a building permit, that was it. You build your garage first, right? Your beautiful shop. And they're like, no, county regulations are you have to have a home before you ever get to build a shop.
Oh.
So, yeah, my house is almost done. We're like really close. And the next project is a shop. And I've been looking at metal buildings and everything else to get there. U.S.
Steel has some really good deals, and they're all permitted to. You're still in California, right? So they're all permitted to come into California. They got some really, really nice buildings. So you might want to take a look at what they have to offer.
Absolutely, U.S. Steel. I'll take that to note and check those guys out. Yeah, because I definitely need a shop. I need a shop so bad.
Well, of course you do. What guy doesn't need a shop?
I know.
And especially after getting the bug going to Vegas to Reno, I'm itching to get back in an off-road car again.
Oh boy.
Mark's going to let me race next weekend in Yerington, Nevada, where I lived for years. We're going to go do that race. I get to drive out the race for him again.
That's what I wanted to ask. What's your next race? So it sounds like you've got that on the calendar already, and that you won't be coming down to Verona.
No, it's the same weekend, September 5th and 6th.
Yeah, but you'll come down to Verona sometime. We'll and if you come down, we'll drag you into the station and have you come into the radio and do the show.
Yeah.
That would be great. I see all the advertisements for Verona, and it's a pretty good long trek, but I don't mind making the trek. I go everywhere.
Yeah.
Hey,
every time.
It's San Diego. How bad could it be? We'll take good care of you. Buddy, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you calling in 2 times. You were the best, and we'll be talking to you down the road.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
All right, folks. This is Racer Radio. It's over. I hate it, but that's okay. We're back next week. This is FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
And she's the best.
This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl. 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 Sponsored by Dave